5. He's looking at potentially 20 years.
So, Nick, I think they're all biggies.
Okay, well, is aggravated sexual battery the same time as ag rape?
No, aggravated sexual battery is a B felony, and he's a first-time offender, and if he's convicted of such, it would be facing between 8 and 12 years, and that'll have to be served at 85%, and the judge would start with the 8, and then they would go from the 8 all the way up to could possibly the 12 based on the proof of the sentencing hearing as to whether or not there's enhancement of mitigating factors.
I'm eating a French fry.
I'm good.
All right. We will take a quick break. And,
Hello.
No need to take a break yet. What we'll do is continue taking more of these phone calls. And let's see. Well, we will in a moment here. We're trying to provide sustenance at the same time of going through more of these phone calls. And let's go next to, I believe we've got, is it West? Oh, it's Connor on 6. Did we take West, though, on 4? But, oh, was he? Okay. Connor's on which line? 6? Go ahead, Connor. Are you there, Connor?
Hey, how are you?
Hey, buddy. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No problem. So I heard earlier an allusion to some sort of like puppet master. And I really think that speaks volumes for this trial with Vanderbilt and, Beatty, especially where one of them is a less privileged black man. I mean, he was a good boy. He didn't do nothing. And I think it was all kind of plotted against him, where he's forced to take this trial defense who isn't even accredited or acknowledged by a bar. And you just kind of have to ask, was it all part of Vanderbilt's plan to get this guy life in prison? I don't know. It's all just perplexing to me.
Listen, I understand where he's kind of coming from. Looking at this and wondering, all right, I understand there was a change in his legal team, all right? Warwick Robinson had someone else who left his office, I guess, who assisted them last time. So Warwick had to replace, and they found new attorneys in Courtney Teasley and Kadisha Babb. Had they not been able to find those two individuals, and would there have been a court-appointed attorney to assist Warwick if they just couldn't find someone to take on the case? Or?
Not necessarily in a case of this magnitude. I mean, the state doesn't, and taxpayers don't have resources. I mean, Warwick Robinson is a great attorney, okay? They don't have the resources necessarily. I will say this, though. We were getting into kind of a gray area here. I think there was a case that I remember seeing just in an email when yesterday that came out of maybe West Tennessee that in a murder case, the jury deliberated to 1 a.m. and the court overturned that verdict, saying that it deprived the defendant of his right to a fair trial. So I would think at some point here within the next 30 minutes or so, Judge Watkins, being aware of this case that came out yesterday, is probably going to go ahead and break, because otherwise you end up just kind of hotboxing or sweating the jury to a verdict. And in that case, it is very substantial. Okay, and I'm sure Judge Watkins is mindful of that. I don't think he's going to let them go to midnight, but
meaning if it goes too late, that can be an issue if they just keep them.
Well, the Court of Criminal Appeals said in that opinion that forcing them to sit in there and continue deliberating to 1 a.m. to just for whatever the motivation may have been was a violation of the defendant's right to a fair trial. And I have to agree with that.
Oh, absolutely. In my impression, though, this is not Judge Watkins doing right now, meaning that I think he has been so accommodating. By the way, let me tip my hat to him. That man has some patience, all right? And I was so impressed with him. But what I want to say is I'm guessing that this is going to be going, and they're checking in and asking the jury what they want to do. Now, he may still insist on, look, you got to clear your heads. Let's take a break here for a moment. But I'm guessing the jury's calling the shots here in terms of, Judge, we're willing to keep going if you'll let us. That's what I think's happening.